Hey Internet, Eric here. Well, I've been slowly going through the From Dusk Till Dawn trilogy, and we've come to the end. Today I'm going to discuss From Dusk Till Dawn 3, The Hangman's Daughter. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot, spoilers, specific scenes, whatever. This also came out in 1999, the same year as Part 2, Texas Blood Money. And the basic plot of this is Michael Parks. Is he here? Yeah, Michael Parks, who was the ranger in the very beginning of the first movie. He returns. He's playing Ambrose Bierce, who was a writer, a poet, something like that in the 1800s. And he was never seen again. He apparently was going to go join the army of Pancho Villa, something like that, towards Mexico. Michael Parks plays him, and he is in Mexico. And while he's there in Mexico getting drunk, what the hell is his name? Johnny Madrid, this guy here, he is going to be hung by the Hangman, who is played by what the hell, Tamara Morrison, who Jango Fett, Boba Fett in the Book of Boba Fett. He is also Aquaman's dad in the Aquaman movies. He is the Hangman. What happens is, let's just say Johnny Madrid is saved, and he also takes Esmeralda, who is the daughter of the Hangman, hence the Hangman's daughter. She is not in this picture. There's Tamara Morrison right there, looking mean and ugly. And then they end up holing out at the what will become the Titty Twister, and vampires show up. Hilarity ensues. This one I thought was really fun. First off, the cast. Michael Parks is awesome. I love him in this movie. When he's not being drunk, he's being a smartass. I love when he meets up with Rebecca Gayheart. And her husband. They're newlyweds, Bible thumpers, trying to sell Bibles, and he is an atheist, and he is just talking about how much he hates the Bible. The problem with the Bible is the covers are too far apart. When Jacob blows his horn, I will be there playing the tuba, that type of stuff, like kind of insulting and everything. And he's a lot of fun. He has great chemistry with everybody, whether he's sober, drunk, mean. He's a blast. The actor who plays Johnny Madrid, he is good trying to be, I guess you would say, the Seth Gecko of the group. What I mean by that is he's an outlaw. He's a bad guy. He'll kill you without thinking twice. But he's also got a bit of charisma where you like him. You like his fighting style. You like a lot of things about him. He's really cool. So he's a lot of fun. Rebecca Gayheart, once again, just proves she's just hired to be pretty, or she's hired because she's pretty. She's awful in this movie. She's annoying as hell when she's the Bible thumper, but when she turns, and that's not too much of a spoiler, if you see the fucking cover, just look at that. You know for a fact she's going to become a vampire. When she confronts her husband and tries to make him feel guilty for leaving her there to become a vampire, she's just so over the top and is very cringeworthy. The actor who plays her husband, he is kind of a puss until he gets laid in the brothel part of the bar, and then he does a 180, turns into this really cool badass, killing vampires, beating the shit out of bar patrons and stuff like that. He's a lot of fun. Danny Trejo shows up to be a vampire, and I mentioned in the video for Part 2. Part 2 is a sequel. Danny Trejo is not playing the same character that he was in the first movie. I guess he's his twin brother, Eddie. Because, well, one of them's Eddie, one of them's Charlie. He is playing the same character from Part 1 in this one because it takes place in the 1800s. Girl who plays Esmeralda, just there to look pretty. Nothing special. Tamara Morrison, scary as fuck. Bad dude. Abuses his girl or abuses his daughter, doesn't give a fuck, will kill anyone who gets in his way to catching Johnny Madrid. But this motherfucker knows how to kill vampires, and he is cool as hell when he gets some action. And then there's some actress who plays a wannabe outlaw who catches up with Johnny, wants to be part of the gang. Johnny doesn't let her be part of the game, and then the rest of the movie is her wanting to get revenge, everything. She's awful. So the cast is hit and miss. The girl who plays, I guess you would say, the head vampire, she sucks. Orlando Jones from Mad TV shows up. I hate to say, he's kind of like a black stereotype. because he talks like this. You know what I mean? Like this that southern, I hate to say it, like yes massa type of stereotype with from the South. You know, it's kind of cringeworthy, and he's not really good. So cast is hit and miss. The action is amazing, like the movies before them. First one is like a heist trying to get away from first half of the first one, trying to get to Mexico, vampires. Second one, trying to rob a or crack a safe, vampires. This one is a western until they get to. It's not called the Titty Twister, but apparently I looked at IMDb. Whatever it translates from the Spanish version, it's the Devil's Nipple, which I think is hilarious. There's great action, shootouts. When it's the western stuff, the shootouts are so good. Oh my god, the action is great. Johnny Madrid shows how good he is. Even that dumbass kid who I said eventually joins Johnny's group and then they kick her to the curb, she's really good with a gun. Love her when she's shooting stuff. When the vampires vamp out, we have people being thrown against the wall. We have so much action, so much stuff happen. You have to pay attention to what's going on. And it's really, really good. It made me feel like I was watching, I don't want to say watching the first one because the first one you can't touch, but it had the feel of the first one because of the action was so over the top. The gore is great. Like Tamir Morrison, like that dude is so good with a whip. I'll say like he wraps the whip around like the head, like the mouth of a vampire, pulls it, whoosh, rips in half. He's stabbing fuckers in the head. Really, really good. I love him. The gore is really good. And like I said, we get Johnny Madrid has boots equipped like when he stomps on the heels of his boots, blades come out of the front. So he's slicing bellies. That looks really cool. Like I just said with Tamara Morrison, what he does to that vampire. When Rebecca Gayhart's husband, like I said, when he tries to be a man, I guess you would say, all he needed to do is get laid by the leader of the vampires. He, like I said, he starts fights, beats the shit out of people, stabs people in the mouth. He does a really good job helping kill the vampires, and that helps with the gore. The makeup. Let's get to the downside. The makeup is awful. I mean, they're trying to make the vampires look kind of like how they were in the first one. They look really, really bad. Really bad. Like the first two movies, when it is like CGI vampires melting. Awful. Cringeworthy. There is a scene where Orlando Jones, I was going to call him Orlando Jordan, the wrestler. Orlando Jones, he seduces Rebecca Gayheart. Because, the vampires, like Dracula, they can seduce them. It's a really weird, out of place dance sequence. Like he does the tango with her. It's cringy and stupid. I mentioned the CGI is bad when they melt. There's a scene where a vampire is decapitated and a cobra head pops out of the stump with the vampire's face. Awful. And like I said, Rebecca Gayheart, when Rebecca Gayheart tries to attack her husband while she's in vampire form, she's got like snakes that come out of her belly. The practical effects when he's touching them and fighting them look good, but when it just shoots out of her belly, they look really, really bad. I like how they defeat I guess you would say the head vampiress, whatever. You find out she's the mother to Esmeralda. Tamira Morrison banged this vampire, and that's how Esmeralda was born. This is basically how you would say the birth of Santanico Pandemonium, who was Selma Hayek's character in the first one. I like how she's killed, but the way she's killed, like again, it's CGI. Poof, that looked bad. There, lots of nudity in this film. Lots of gross nudity. Like we get to see like the old one. And the old one is the mother of Esmeralda's mother, so Esmeralda's grandmother. And this is like long, droopy titties, full frontal, old, crusty, nasty vampire lady. Maggots inside, stuff like that. It's nasty because she eventually gets, sliced open. Another thing I just thought of, I mentioned the CGI. CGI bats are pretty bad. But if you can overlook the limited budget of the CGI and a hit and miss cast, I really, really enjoyed From Dusk Till Dawn 3, The Hangman's Daughter. Johnny Madrid had charisma. Tamira Morrison is really good at being scary. She sucks. Michael Parks is amazing. There's some good references to the original film that you have to pay attention to get. The action is great. Like there's actually a scene. It's a western where Johnny Madrid, how he meets up with Michael Parks and Rebecca Gayheart and her husband, is they're robbing their stagecoach, and it's a really good stagecoach robbing scene. People are shot and killed. There are stunts. It is an amazing scene. So, like I said, fantastic action. In the beginning when it's a western, and in the end when it's fucking everyone hunting down vampires. So much fun. If you can get past the limited budget with the CGI, I highly recommend From Dusk Till Dawn 3, The Hangman's Daughter. Full Tilt Boogie, I'm not going to talk about. It's a documentary on the making of the first movie. It's kind of boring. The end. So that's it. I have finally finished the From Dusk Till Dawn trilogy. Thank you for watching. Click the bell. I say this shit at the end of every video. Comment below. Tell me if you've seen this one. Tell me if you avoided it because you didn't like part 2. Tell me if I maybe got you interested. Blah, blah, blah. The usual stuff. I'm going to dive into. The next franchise will be the Underworld franchise. I have an unboxing planned. I might go live this Friday. And I think I might have a Wild Eye video thrown in there because it's been a while and my friends like it when I review Wild Eye. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Blah, blah, blah. Cheers.